Peace and blessings. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Come on in. Come on in. Hey. Look, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be off camera because of the sensitive nature, for some of it at least, of sensitive nature of topic. And I'm giving a disclaimer at the beginning of the video that if you are easily disturbed, if you're at a point where you're probably spiritually or emotionally fragile, come back and watch this another time or sit this one out. Okay, this is not going to be for the faint of heart or for the weak. Okay, come on in, everybody. Appreciate you. Hey, Bolo, what's going on, babes? What's going on? Okay, I gotta get my light. You know, it take me a minute, right? Come on in, come on in. I'm wondering if y'all can hear. Hold on a minute. That's why, because it ain't playing. Okay. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate all the time. My folk got patience with me because listen, I don't be meaning no harm. It just is what it is. My brain, I don't, I'll put it this way. The speed of my brain goes, my body sometimes struggle to keep up, okay? Or oftentimes. So come on in, come on in. We got Sister Yo in the building. We got Mel Dub. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. We got Salaya in the building. Hello, hello. Shalom and peace. Bolo, don't start. It's too early. It's too early. It's too early. And I gotta laugh because listen, this gonna get heavy. Okay. So that's the last time I'm gonna say it. And we gonna I'm gonna go off camera and I'll come back on, occasionally when I'm feeling it. But I wanted to definitely greet everybody and say I appreciate y'all being here. For those, I just want to also say thank you to all the new subs. Oh my goodness, to my day one folk, my family. I appreciate my mods. I appreciate all of my members. I'm just super grateful and appreciative. Please feel free if somebody would drop my membership link into the chat, and to my content creators that are mods, feel free to assist one another in dropping channels in the chat as well. It's truly appreciated. So let's get the housekeeping out of the way. I did set a goal, right? So my goal is, I'll go down the rabbit hole on this one because I done touched on I done touched on the very tip of the rat, and I know it go deep, and I know that this thing it's maniacal, it's diabolical, but we need to, especially nobody I know, thank God, goes through or has had the kind of trauma that this woman and her children have been through and have been through. To me, I feel like the victims, the most affected, are the two that survived it. Okay. So yeah, the goal is if we reach the goal, I think it's $5 super chats or whatever, then I'm going to dog walk this woman, her life, because I'm feeling some type of way. I ain't got no control over it, and mental illness is real, but if I expose or do my part in revealing how sick people are and how sick people can be and how demonic, how monsters move, I believe she's a monster. That's my belief. Okay. but I'm going to put her on Front Street. I'm going to look at it from both sides. I'm not going to be totally biased, but anybody that looks at it from, I don't know, it just, if you just can't see the monster in her, then I'm questioning what you got going on with you. So with that being said, yes, your thoughts watching from the bushes. We're going to jump right off into it. I'm not going to do, I can, and I might every now and again elaborate, but I'm not going to do a whole lot of interrupting because words matter, and I don't want to take away from, the lineage of the story. And I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth. So I go. All right, y'all. I digress. Peace and blessings, everybody. Let's go.
Why did you take the decision to pile the bodies on top of each other in a freezer?
What do you mean?
Why did you do that?
Well, I only had one deep freezer. We didn't take the decision to pile the bodies on top of each other.
Okay, so did she just say she only had one deep freezer? So for anybody that doesn't know the story, or this traumatic experience, this woman slow walked to their unaliving her 9-year-old son and her 13-year-old daughter because she has led everyone to believe that she believes that they SA'd her baby. Okay, there's a whole lot of dynamics going on, but that's the crux of it. And so her stance is I did it, I would do it again, because she claims that she was SA'd when she was a child or when she was young. And definitely she's been through some trauma, to the point where it's been generational, and God bless her children. Oh my goodness. So that's the crux of it. This woman unalived her 9-year-old son and her 13-year-old daughter. But as it's revealed, the methods that she used, how she slow walked it, how methodical it was, how premeditated allegedly it was, in my opinion, this is, she a different kind of, she's something else. All right, y'all, here we go.
Where was she gonna go?
How did you conceivably sleep at night?
I slept well. Of course, at first I cried. It was up because I had to let go of all of that.
I'm doing my best, Mitchelle, to listen to what you're saying. However, I need to know that you also accept that you had a number of other options open to you, other than the extreme violence with which you decided to act.
What do you mean accept it?
You had a number of other options.
There were no other options. I'm not playing crazy. I wasn't in depression. None of that. It's no excuse for rape, period.
According to police reports, you ordered your eldest daughter to physically lift the body of one of your children.
No, I didn't tell her to lift the body.
Can you imagine?
You're talking about...
You want to talk about your surviving children, though, Mitchelle? You didn't ever consider turning yourself in?
If my son told me that he did not want me to go after what happened with Stephen, after I killed Sonny, do you really think I was about to turn myself in because of her? Hell no. No. No.
And you feel no remorse for that?
I would kill him again.
So she would do it again, okay? Now we're talking about a lack of remorse. We're not going to even say emotional detachment. We're going to say emotional abandonment. There is no emotion unless you identify the anger. She's definitely pissed. She's definitely mad. And that has blinded her from rationale, in my opinion. No maternal instincts. And we're going to get off into it later, but with everything that transpired, the first thing I want to know is how come nobody knew? How come this went under the radar so long? Okay, leads to complex family dynamics, all of that. So there's definitely a detachment here of any type of bonding, of any type of, like I said, maternal instinct. In my opinion, she represents the ultimate betrayal of what a natural bond between a parent and a child should look like, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and see to the next one. This is another bit of that same sitting and interview, and this is another pivotal, I'm sure, part where people remember her for.
That you had to suffer as a kid,
You mean sexual abuse?
if that's what happened?
That definitely did happen to me. That's why I know exactly how would have grew up. I told my mother what happened to me, and the only thing she said was, "It's over with, so what the you want me to do about it?" What you mean what I want you to do? You get what I'm saying? So all I could do is go back and sit in my room and just sit there and look stupid. I'm a kid, and I'm just telling you what happened to me. You didn't do about it. And plus, I still had to see the person coming in and out my house. You still friends with that person.
So do you believe that the violent person you went on to become you were a product of your own childhood?
I mean, everybody have choices, so I can't just blame all that on my mom because I was still an adult. Maybe I should have tried hard to get over that. But anybody who knows me, that touching the kids, the molesting, that no.
Okay, so we definitely, if we are to believe what she is saying, it appears that she is definitely triggered, heavily triggered by anything dealing with SA, because that has been, according to her experience. That's profound, because especially if you, in my opinion, go through something like that and you don't heal or get some type of help to navigate through the healing process, stuff like this is real. Stuff like this is tangible. Stuff like this is very probable in the scheme of things. And she said something else. She mentioned that her mother not only did nothing about it, she asked her what did she want her to do. And the woman lives right down the street from her mother, and they are still friends. Okay. Now, I'm not going to play it, but if you go through any type of extensive footage on this topic, a lot of it comes from her being in court. And one of the, she says so much, but there's one of the profound things that link to this is that her story has been consistent. What she says here, she also says in court. What she says in court, she also sticks by in the interrogation room. So no matter who is talking to her in a different setting, asking her the same question in different words, formats, from different approaches, she has not, that's one thing that has perplexed everybody, is that they can't tell what's true and what's not. Her story has been consistent. They have been unable, based off of anything but her words and her testimony, anything that comes forth from her mouth, they're speculating. They have to go to the source, and she's telling it. She's telling it the way she wants to tell it, the way she believes, no matter how it looks to everybody on the outside. So I was debating on whether I was going to do this, but I got these video clips off of YouTube, And I really think that this will give more context because I really don't want to insert too much of my own commentary. I want her to tell her own story. Yeah, this boy, I tell you, and we can't ignore the fact that the system does not work. The system has failed so many, including, and in the spotlight, Mitchell Blair, or Mitchelle Blair, and her children, 2 of which are no longer here. Let's go.
It makes you guilty of premeditated murder.
She raped my son. I intentionally killed her.
How did you do that?
Starting from the beginning, when I found out about what Stoney was doing to Matthew, it was 9 months later after finding out about Stephen. So for the whole 9 months, we were in the house. She was still raping my child. I did not know that. When I first found out, after Maddie told me, I took a minute because I was not understanding, that she did that to him. But I repeatedly punched her. On many occasions, my son, I told him to tell me every single thing she did to him. So as she was telling me, he was telling me more and more things that she did. I assaulted her every time he told me what she did to him. By assault, I mean I punched her. I had put a bag over her head till she lost consciousness. I threw hot water on her, scalding hot water from the faucet.
Did you hit her in the head with a wooden
Yes,
stick?
I hit her on her head multiple times, over and over.
Was that shortly before she died?
That was actually the day before she died and the day she died.
Okay.
I hit on her back, like on her tailbone. I kicked her.
Okay, I just want to clarify a few things. And perhaps you don't know, but did this happen on or about May 25th, 2014? To the
May
best of your recollection?
25th is actually the day she died, or the day I killed her.
And you said you killed her by putting a grocery bag over her head?
Yes, that day, Maddie would tell me different things because he was doing this to him for years, and I did not know that. He gave it
So the baby boy, that is, that have been accused of the one being on the receiving end of the assaults, actually, this was horrific. Yes, sis, come on now. This is horrific. There is no way this woman should have been allowed to have children. And if she did, that 2 of them have been deceased. For the son a year, the son 2 years, and the daughter 1. And they only found out because she was getting evicted from her apartment and she wasn't there. She had taken the 2 remaining children and gone to, I don't know if it was a relative's house or a neighbor's house. She wasn't far from where she lived, but she had them in the deep freezer. And as they were moving the stuff out of the apartment, they discovered the bodies. So the children hadn't been to school for 2 years. There was a source that said that she actually had told people she was homeschooling them. The 2 children that were unalived had different fathers. Neither one of the fathers investigated or probed enough to lay eyes on their child for 2 years. According to her words, she stated, which is one of her triggers, that they don't care and that all she had to tell them was that the children were upstairs or they were gone. So for 2 years, neither one of the fathers seemed to have cared if they laid eyes on their 9-year-old and their 13-year-old. When I say this thing is systematic or systemic, this is wild. And for her to be able to stand up there, now, I haven't seen this woman shed one tear. Not one. And I have been watching video after video after video. She feels justified in how she did those children. Monster behavior.
I'm saying, and I didn't find out till 9 months later. She had started with Steven. She ruined my son, okay? She started with Steven before he even started. So, yes, I put a bag over her head, but it got worse that day. Yes, I did. It got worse that day because Matthew would tell me how she would take her pad, her menstrual pad, and squeeze her blood out in his mouth, okay? And it was over with after that.
Fair use, fair use. I'm not going to play much more of this because the entire clip is graphic like this. But according to her, this was her real life. This is the story that she tells that 4 children were subjected to. That type of environment. There are pictures of her being evicted on the internet, and the conditions in which those children lived made me gasp. It made me gasp. And nobody knew. No, that just went totally under the radar. Nobody knew that these children were missing. Hey, Damn D. Hey, what's going on with you? Dee Dee's in the hot look. I'm struggling through this live. I ain't gonna even lie to you. This woman is a monster. And there's a rabbit hole with this one. Thank you. I appreciate you, Damn D. Always. You show love in more than one way. You are appreciated. Thank you, thank you. So we're going to go through a little bit more, and then I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up because I don't believe that we need to hear too much more of this emptiness, of this coldness, of this. I felt compelled to come on, even though in some opinions, this seems like a very old story, but those children are less than 10 years older than this horrific time in their lives. And I pray that they find healing. I pray that they are able to have as much of a normal life as possible. But this story is not as old. Not for all of the horrific things that took place and how many people's lives it has touched, inadvertently or otherwise. Let's just play a little bit more of this, and then we're going to go the last little wrap-up video or reference is going to be one of the fathers, the father of the daughter, of the 13-year-old daughter. And I just want to add that Mitchelle makes it very clear in her admittance over and over again. One of her consistent statements that she meant to unalive that daughter. The son, she claimed he just, in her mind, passed as a result of the injuries that were inflicted upon him, but that was not her intent. Even though she beat that boy down for 4 days, the second day she said she did not. She didn't put hands on him because she was drunk the night before and she was too sick. But on the third day and the fourth day, she reconvened the abuse. Okay?
It was over with.
You meant to kill her?
I definitely meant to kill her.
Okay. It wasn't an accident?
No, not at all. If I had a chance to do it again, I would.
When you went and got the grocery bag and suffocated her, that was your intent?
Yes. She was standing in the bathtub. I was throwing hot water on her. My son was standing to my right outside the bathroom door, and he was telling me everything he was telling me. I looked at her and I'm like, "You did this?" And she was like, "Yes." So I actually had a stick and I was hitting her in the head. Every time he told me something, I hit her very hard in her head, and I was throwing hot water on her. And when I actually took her out of the bathroom, I took her back in her room, and I just kept staring at her, and I said, excuse my language, but I'm like, "Why the fuck would you do this to him?" Just like, I'm constantly asking her. She kept saying, "I hate him." And I'm like, "You hate him?" And she admitted to me that she hated Gabrielle, she hated Steven, she hated everybody. And I'm asking her why. She says, "Everybody always think Matthew's so cute." And I'm like, "So you fucked your brother," because you get what I'm saying. So I definitely meant to.
She is saying she meant to unalive the daughter. That daughter, that was her whole objective. She wasn't going to stop until that young girl didn't have any more breath in her. I cannot, there's no way I could even wrap a portion of my brain around that. Okay? That's why I say this is demonic. This is monster. This screams monster to me. This is not human. That is not how we were created. This is not what was instilled in us. I just want to say prayers out to the 2 surviving children that has lived through this horrific experience.
And I do not feel any remorse for what I did to Sony, because she had no remorse for what she did to my son. And it's not only raped him, she gang raped him with Steven. Matthew was sitting on the floor and he was telling me, this is how I found out about both of them doing it together. But it was too late. Steven was on. But Matthew told me that Stoney would actually make him sit there while, in his words, her and Stoney did the nasty stuff, and then they did it to him. And
so this was your way of inflicting punishment?
Definitely.
Okay.
So, listen. Generational trauma, that had to be, if there is any truth to that, if there's any truth to, because she believes and she's very convincing. Like I said, across the board, no matter who she said it to, she's been very consistent. Nobody has had to cross-examine her. She has been straight up and down. Look, my 9-year-old son and my 13-year-old daughter did some really, really inappropriate things to, I think the little boy was 6. He was the youngest out of the 4. And you can definitely tell, and I believe she spoke on it, that she said that baby that's her pride and joy. Okay? The things that she told the judge that were done to her youngest son had to be learned. It had to be demonstrated. Somebody had to see something. Okay? You can't convince me. And especially now that the mom is saying, okay, well, that's what happened to me when I was young. And they didn't do that they did to my baby boy. They did it to my pride and joy. Again, My objective, because I know a lot of us, including myself and myself first and foremost, get to live in my own little bubble for the most part. But we got real demons walking among us. We got real monsters in flesh. And they are always after our children. Always after our children. But the system is broken. There's no way that these children should have been out of school for 2 years. Dads didn't check up on the school, didn't probe past asking the mom that, they want to speak to their kids. She evaded them for 2 whole years. Ain't no way. You can't do that for me for 3 days. 2 years? Not happening. No well checks. No family members came to the house inquiring about their nieces, nephews, cousins, grandbabies. Nobody. This is one of the dads.
7 months ago is when Alex Dorsey says he last came to this porch that is now turned into a makeshift memorial. He says his daughter's mother wouldn't let him see his girls because he didn't have money. He had lost his job.
He was paying his child support until he lost his job. It wasn't like he didn't try.
The state is now trying to take away his rights to his 17-year-old daughter. A petition says he abandoned his girls, failed to take legal action to obtain parenting time, and owes $39,000 in child support.
How hard is it to hear them say you should have done more?
It ain't hard at all, because I already know I'm supposed to do it.
One moment, this Detroit man is angry at the state. He says his family reported concerns to CPS in years past, but it only caused problems as the kids were given back to their mom. The next moment, he is full of regret, wondering, what if?
It's my fault. It's all my fault.
Blame yourself.
It's all my fault. Yes, it is.
One thing Dorsey wants his surviving daughter, who police say endured years of abuse, to know.
It's not my own fault. It's not my fault.
In Detroit, Kim Russell, 7 Action News.
So that's the father of the oldest daughter and the 13-year-old daughter. That's enough heaviness. I just want to say in conclusion, we're dealing with complex family dynamics. A lot of generational trauma that's been passed down through DNA, whether she was present there or not. It leads to psychological concerns. Looking at this raises major issues about people's mental health. What happened to early intervention? What happened to the support systems? This is what happens when you lose your core family. When you lose, through each generation, you become more separated from your bloodline and your family or your tribe. People don't even have tribes anymore, and I'm speaking as a collective. This is a prime example of what happens when nobody cares. Nobody gives a damn. I wish that I had a way to lift the mood before I get up on off of here, but I ain't gonna even fake the funk today, y'all. I felt compelled to talk about this, though it was the last thing I wanted to talk about. I ain't gonna even lie. It's the last thing I want to talk about. But now I feel like I've been obedient and made this hit who it's supposed to, may it resonate with who it's supposed to resonate with. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming through. And yeah, we gonna get up on out of here. I will see y'all in the next chat or on the next live. I appreciate you. Hold on one second, y'all. Peace.